when they say that behind every successful man, there is a woman. So behind every successful woman, also there is a supporting man.
Absolutely.
Ability to do all this was definitely learned from and inspired from various people and figures in my life.
Yeah, I'm sure. Mentors, they do play a very, very integral role. And
Absolutely.
sometimes we don't even realize how we are getting mentored by someone. It doesn't have to be
Yes.
in a very obvious way. It's just that you just imbibe things from people in your
The
life.
whole point is to live with no guilt and no regrets. And
Absolutely.
as long as you understand yourself, you understand what you want from life, you're not answerable to anybody but yourself.
I think that is very important because if you can look yourself in the eye, you can look in the mirror and look at yourself and say, okay, I am doing what I should be doing. I think that's it. Hi, Meher, and welcome to the About Her Show. This is a show where we get trailblazing women to share the story of their lives with us, to tell us about their successes, failures, challenges, ups and downs, all of it. So, not only do they get to showcase themselves and the work that they do, but they also help us inspire other women who are listening in, who also may be having dreams and ambitions, but for some reason are not able to fulfill them. And of course, we also get men on the show who champion such women because we believe that for a gender inclusive world, men and women have to be allies in this journey. So, a very, very warm welcome to you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for having me on the show. And yes, I do believe when they say that behind every successful man, there is a woman. So behind every successful woman, also there is a supporting man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No two ways about it. All right. So, let's get started and with a little icebreaker. So, if you could tell us a little bit about your early days, your early life, and tell us if you feel that any one of those experiences helped you become what you're today, the kind of person you are, they helped shape your personality, anything like that that you would like to share with us.
Absolutely. So I started my journey in 2002. I launched my fashion label as soon as I graduated from university and came back to Dubai.
Okay.
I completed my education in London, and my father was in the garment manufacturing business.
Okay.
He came to Dubai with the vision to expand his garment manufacturing business, and I guess that was like a natural progression and transition for me to be
Mhm.
attracted to fashion, and I was super attracted to high fashion. And I
Okay.
started my label with my best friend Meher. So the label was called Meher and Ridima.
Okay.
So I started it with my best friend Ridima Wabi,
Mm-hmm.
and we saw a successful 15-year run.
Mm-hmm.
After which we decided to put it on hold because we both had other aspects of life we wanted to focus more on.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
So that
So,
was the early years, and then 10 years ago I joined the family business.
mm-hmm.
The family business was into real estate by the time I joined it.
Mm-hmm.
It also had a facilities management company. uh, we had distribution of furniture and kitchens,
Okay.
and a mall called the Marina Scape Mall that
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting in right now in
All right.
Dubai in the Marina.
Hmm.
So there were four verticals which I was made the managing director for,
Okay.
and so I've been doing this for 10 years of my journey now, and
Oh,
I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's been a huge shift from fashion to managing assets,
I'm
but
sure.
it's been a beautiful growing journey.
So while you were growing up, I mean, parents tend to kind of raise their children in a certain way. Parent, has a different way of doing that. So can you recall any of your experiences which you think maybe, propelled you into this life that you're leading now or left a lasting, impression on you?
Absolutely. I feel as soon as we moved to Dubai, I was 3 years old when we moved to Dubai. So we moved to Dubai 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I felt I felt a lot of success and a lot of privilege
Okay.
because the business was growing. It was on a super growth mode,
Mm-hmm.
and we could feel that in our lives because we were moving houses to
Okay.
bigger and better houses, like in a couple of years, couple of years, couple of years. So I could really feel the progress,
Okay. Hmm.
and even with cars and even with all the materialistic comforts, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
So that really gave me the feeling of progress and luxury in my life.
Okay, okay.
And what I took from it is that life is not supposed to be stagnant. It is always supposed to be growing.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
So, of course, that was materialistically, we were growing a lot. But
Mm-hmm.
also, my mom had a spiritual master
Mm-hmm.
that she used to take me and my brother to. Like, we used to go for prayers and like to satsang, like they say in
Yeah.
Hindi, like
Mm-hmm.
to go for a lot of spiritual discourses.
Yeah.
And I think that's what kept me grounded, along with my mom. And like, it was that was our spiritual connection. So we
Mm-hmm.
never felt that progress was extraordinary, or it was bound to ego, or it was bound to something else, because we were already working on our spiritual side as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so
So
these I
these
think,
are my memories.
yeah, so these things keep you grounded. So while you are looking at the material part of life and the materialistic part of life, but you also have another side which is keeping you grounded and telling you, that you to strike a balance between the two. All right.
Absolutely.
So in this journey, I mean, starting from that fashion brand to now what you're doing, I'm sure there were lots of challenges, along the way. And some of those maybe could have been because of your gender. So could you tell us a little bit about the challenges that you faced?
I feel as a Hindu woman, or women from this part of the world, kind of, our first priority is always our. I got married at a very early age. In
Okay.
fact, my spiritual master proposed the hand in marriage. So
Okay.
my husband's family also is from the same path.
Okay.
I got married very, very early, and I didn't know myself. I got married at the age of 22 and a half, and
Okay.
I didn't know myself. I
Hmm.
felt that I felt, oh, wow, this is fantastic, because that was the norm 20 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
You study, you get educated, you get married. If you feel like working, you work. Otherwise, there's no need, kind of.
Yes.
But
Yes.
as soon as I graduated, I had launched my fashion label, and
Okay.
I didn't know what I wanted to do with that fashion label. I didn't know myself. I didn't know how ambitious I was.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I was married at the same time while I was discovering who I was and what I wanted in life. So that was the challenge for me, because newly married, a lot of expectations from the family, trying to, be accepted in the family or adjust with the family,
Yeah. Yeah.
trying to take on that role and responsibility, plus managing a business. That was a struggle initially.
Oh.
So that's what I think, that's where the most challenges came,
Hmm.
because while the expectations and the even the subconscious programming was that the family is supposed to be the first priority, my husband is the first priority, the house is the first priority, but I was super ambitious, so there was a conflict in my mind
Yeah. I can
that,
understand.
what am I supposed to be doing. So I
Yeah.
was confused, I was conflict,
Hmm. Hmm.
led to a lot of discomfort in me personally.
I'm sure. I'm sure. But even otherwise, as a businesswoman, did you face challenges because of you're a woman or because of your gender?
So I believe in fashion, there are a lot of women. So that way, I didn't feel any kind of gender inequality or something like that. But of course, I guess we are more protected. We feel that we can't travel alone. Like the
Yeah. Yeah.
the social consciousness. Like, and my in-laws and all, they were more protective about me, and they were like, no, no, how will you travel alone? Because I was supplying to a lot of the stores in the GCC, along with the 25 stores in the US as well,
Okay.
my
Okay.
fashion label. So I
Hmm.
had to travel, I had to meet people, I had to meet clients, I had to, be part of the fashion weeks of the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So husband would travel with me.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So I used to also feel bad, because he has to lose his work days and be with me. So, it was like, I feel we are more protected, at least in our culture. And,
Hmm.
they feel that they cannot do things alone, or they should not, because, of safety reasons or any other reason. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
also was a challenge for sure. But of course, times have changed since then. That
Yeah.
was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Now it's 2024. So I believe people have broadened their mindsets and their
Absolutely.
um, vision for women.
Hmm. All right. So, Meher, looking back on your life, can you recall any one person or maybe, many other people who you think served as mentors or who you got inspired by? Can you name somebody or you think that, a lot of people who did that for you?
Absolutely. I believe, frankly speaking, everybody comes with a message in your life. If you're aware and if you are able to catch on those things, there have been many people who helped me in my journey, especially my parents, of course.
Yeah.
They were super, super ambitious. They were always there with me, provided me for everything. And my dad did extremely well for himself. He was the first garment manufacturer in Dubai and very well known in the
Hmm.
UAE. So from my dad to my mom, I mean, my dad, when he came to Dubai, he made a great name for himself, did extremely well in his business, which was very inspirational for me growing up.
Hmm.
And at the same time, my mom kept us grounded, loved us unconditionally. And that I feel is the love I can, because I have received that kind of love, I'm able to give that kind of love to my kids and to the world.
Hmm.
I'm able to pay forward because of the love I received in
Yeah.
my life. So that's, of course, the predominant, I think, for my well being. The love that I receive from my parents is what keeps me going. And that's how I can literally do spreading the message of self love, spreading the message of, honoring yourself, loving yourself, and
Yeah.
giving that honor to yourself. And that all, everything I would really give it to my parents to be able to make me experience such a beautiful life.
Hmm. Hmm.
And besides that, there were always mentors. I mean, I joined this organization 10 years ago called the Entrepreneurs Organization.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot to talk about that. Like, they really shaped me, my forum, they really shaped me to who I was meant to be.
Oh,
Um, it moved me from where I was to where I want to be in life, gave me the exposure, the learning. So it
hmm.
was this amazing organization and a lot of people over there. So yeah, and of course the books that I've read from Eckhart Tolle to Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Bruce Lipton, Dan Dapani, a lot, Sadhguru. Like, the books I read really inspired me. Robin Sharma,
Hmm.
it really inspired me to be on my path and become who I'm meant to be today. Like, today I run my family business. I'm a coach. I'm an author. I'm a speaker, and I sit on the board of the Rack Bank SME Souk. So,
Hmm.
the ability to do all this was definitely learned from and inspired from various people and figures in my life.
Yeah, I'm sure. Mentors, they do play a very, very integral role. And
Absolutely.
sometimes we don't even realize how we are getting mentored by someone. It doesn't have to be
Yes.
in a very obvious way. It's just that you just imbibe things from people in your life. All right. So, Meher, if anyone, and particularly a woman, wants to, get onto an entrepreneurial journey, wants to start a business of her own, what are the three most important tips which come to your mind, which you would like to share and help them, do that?
So the number one tip is to love yourself.
Okay.
I was just in a coaching call with one of my clients in the morning,
Hmm.
and you have to build a great relationship with yourself. You have to let go of any kind of heavy or emotions in your life, any
Okay.
kind of pain in your life. You have to forgive and let go, not for the opposite person, but for yourself.
Okay.
And you owe it to yourself to live a free life from within. Only when you will be free from within will you be able to progress and soar in life, because nothing is weighing you down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
self love is number one.
Okay.
Self connection, self love is number one. That is the most important part of this journey and life and success, I believe.
Hmm. Hmm.
Then it's also faith,
Okay.
believing that the best is yet to come, the best will come to you, living with, and then third would be, I think, intention,
Okay.
living with great intention. So,
Okay.
self love, faith, and intention is what has actually got me where I am today. And of course, along the journey, there's always been a lot of transformation through meditation and a lot of inner work.
Hmm. Hmm.
But we have to realize that the journey is with ourselves,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it is a lifetime journey. So rather than seeing the outside world, first we have to see our inside. We have to see how we can impact our inside, how we can evolve, how we can grow, because material success is a byproduct of how you're feeling inside.
True. 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 So I think that's very, very important because, like you said, you don't have to have anything inside you which weighs you down, because then you will not be able to give your 100% to whatever you are doing. So freeing yourself from that and loving yourself and believing in yourself, I think those
Yes,
are very, very essential elements, which will help you
absolutely.
in your journey. Okay. So,
Absolutely.
of course, as I see, you have a very, very hectic professional life. You're doing so many things and so beautifully. And then, of course, you have a family as well. And as with most women, and I guess as with most people, you have to learn to balance the two sides of your life. But having said that, I would also say that women find it harder because there are greater expectations from women as far as their roles and responsibilities, especially the personal role is concerned. So, how do you strike a balance between the two?
So I believe work-life balance is a dream that people think of, which never happens because we do what we enjoy the most. And I love to work. I love working. I love because evolves me.
Yeah,
I recently started my coaching business because it evolves me. It gives me so much fulfillment. It gives me a sense of fulfillment to be able to help others get on their path or help others, get better at their journeys or better with themselves. I love it. Like so, everything I do, I evolve, grow. It keeps my mind motivated, and I love it. So, of course, the balance is also something you need to distinguish for yourself. For
yeah.
me, my balance is 80% of the time I need to work and 20% family. And
Hmm.
I'm okay with it, with no regrets. So
Okay.
there's a balance determined by you. It should not be determined by the world. What makes you happy? If 40% of time you want to be with your family and that makes you happy, then that's the life you need to create. So
Okay.
it depends that what makes you happy and what's the life you want to create. Maybe in the next 10 to 20 years, I will want to have 40% of family with my children or whatever, and
Hmm.
60% of work. But at this moment, I'm enjoying an 80% work balance and 20% life balance, kind of, or family balance.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
love it. And I have no regrets. The whole point is to live with no guilt and no regrets. And
Abs-
as long as you understand yourself, you understand what you want from life, you're not answerable to anybody but yourself.
I think that is very important because if you can look yourself in the eye, you can look in the mirror and look at yourself and say, okay, I am doing what I should be doing. I think that's it.
Absolutely.
You don't need to do anything for anybody else. At the end of the day, it is for yourself. And if you can say that I've done what I want to do, and of course, without harming anyone or without any of those negative connotations,
Absolutely.
then I think it's absolutely perfect. But you have to know what you want. That's a very
Exactly. The first step is to knowing what you want, what makes you happy. Because
correct.
only, like they say, that when you wear the oxygen mask, only then you can help someone else, right? In the plane, you have to wear the oxygen mask first, and then you can help your child or whoever's sitting beside you. So
Hmm.
we have to understand that loving ourselves, understanding ourselves, knowing ourselves is super important. After that, everything falls in place. And of
True.
course, you have to set healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that once you know yourself, you set your healthy boundaries
True.
and you know what you have to prioritize in your life to grow, to progress, to evolve, and to finally at the end of the day, when you sleep, you must feel fulfilled. You must feel that, wow, what a wonderful day. Every day counts and it's important. So
Correct.
as long as you get that feeling, I think everything will work out.
I agree. I absolutely agree with you. But of course, despite doing what we want to do and despite knowing what we want to do, we do face these downs in our life, the setbacks in our life, which sometimes, if not hold us back, at least they create hurdles in our path. So when you face such a situation, how do you handle it?
So like I mentioned, there's a lot of inner work that goes
Hmm.
to become the better version of yourself, to remaining the better version of yourself, or being the best version of yourself every single day. So
Hmm.
every day I get up to meditation.
Yeah.
I do meditation for an hour.
Hmm.
I then journal, read an inspiring, motivating book,
Okay.
affirmations, exercise, yoga.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I make sure I align myself with things I like, things
Okay.
that keep me calm, things that keep me in the right zone.
Okay.
A lot of learning. So this is what keeps me motivated and aligned. So when you are aligned and
Hmm.
when you are living your authentic self, you
Yeah.
become very powerful.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Then things don't really bother you. Anxiety, stress, depression, or any kind of things doesn't move you that much because you're so strong from within. So the
True.
whole idea is to build yourself from within to become as powerful as you can. because we all have that potential. We
Yes.
all have untapped potential. And when we tap upon that potential from within, we become super powerful. Then these things really don't bother us. But it's a
Correct.
process, it's a journey. I've worked on it for now, I would say 6 years.
Okay. Okay.
For the first 10, 15 years of me being married and understanding life and knowing myself and discovering, that was like a journey of about 12 to 13 years. And after that, 6 to 8 years now, I've been on my path of transformation, living my best version, living my best life, working on myself, being disciplined. So it is a process. It just doesn't happen in a day. You need to consistently and constantly keep working on yourself, connecting with yourself, understanding yourself, reflections, healing, whatever works for you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is your job, it is your responsibility to keep yourself happy from within, of course, with good intention for yourself and others around you. And yeah, just love the journey, love the life, and love yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So actually, I think the core thing is that it begins with you. Anything that you want to
Yes,
do in life, it begins with you. And
yes,
thereafter, when you are strong, when you are connected, then I think you can take on any kind of a challenge that life presents. Okay.
absolutely.
So, keeping this in mind, is there any piece of advice that you would like to offer to the young girls of today, girls who are on the threshold of their personal and professional lives? What would you like to tell them?
Know yourself. Number one is knowing yourself. Because
Okay.
if you don't know yourself, you either live in conflict or in assumptions.
Right, right.
You'll want to be someone you don't know who they are. Basically, you'll want to be someone you see, you'll want to, but maybe that's not for you. That's not who you are. That's not what you want. But if you don't spend time knowing yourself,
Yeah, yeah.
you'll always live in conflict or assumptions. You'll assume that this will give me happiness. You'll assume that maybe a better job will give me happiness, a better partner will give me happiness, a better car will give me happiness, a better jewelry, better bank balance will give me happiness. Because you'll assume that, because that's what the world shows us.
True, true,
And
true.
then you be in conflict that, oh, why don't I have it? Well, how can I do this? But maybe your journey is not the same as somebody else's journey.
Yeah, yeah.
So you need to accept. When you know yourself, you accept your situations, your circumstances, and you start evolving, accepting everything. So there are no assumptions, there is no conflict.
Correct, correct. So again, know
So
yourself
knowing yourself,
is
yes. Number
most,
one is knowing yourself.
and
Yes,
then
because then it's peace. Then
yeah,
it's peace from within, because you know you don't want this. Like there are so many women in Dubai who love to party, who love to be in circles, but that's not who I am. So I cannot expect to be happy being that person. I
right.
am happy doing what I am happy doing. I love managing my 5 verticals of my business. I love building new businesses. I love growing my businesses. I love working in the family business. I
Yeah,
love creating wealth and love between my family and my family business. I love doing that.
yeah. So see, then you have
And
to know.
that's what gives me happiness.
True.
And of course, I'm okay not to attend lunch parties, breakfast parties, because that doesn't give me happiness.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love to do good dinners with my husband, with friends and stuff like that, of course, after
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
But giving up work and going and socializing is not something I want. It's a very small example,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I
just
get
an
it. I
example.
get it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think that's very important. You can't be doing things because you see others, finding happiness there. So you cannot assume that that
Absolutely.
activity will give you happiness as well. You have to understand what is it that you want. And then, but I think, this comes also with a certain level of maturity, So
Yes,
maybe
I
like,
do.
you're a constant work in progress all your life. So but you have to know. If you know that need to know this, then I'm sure you can start working on it
And
as well.
also you have to, yeah, and also you have to be a little bit aware of that. You must spend some time with yourself, which I didn't know at 20.
Yes, yes, yes.
So if you learn that little bit, if you must understand that you are the most important person in your life,
Yeah,
and you have to spend some time with yourself
yeah.
from the age of 2022 or even before. I mean, I request my children to spend time with themselves. I request my children to meditate also, who are 12 years old. I have twin girls, 12 years old. So I
Okay.
do request them the things that I feel will benefit them early in life, I do request them to do that as well.
Yeah.
So as early as you can, start connecting with yourself, start spending some time with yourself, because when you are in love with someone, with yourself, then you're never lonely.
Yeah, that is so.
Loneliness is such a big problem in the world today.
Yeah.
So when you are, when you're alone with someone you love, then you're never lonely.
Yes. So well said. Yeah, true. All right. So, Meher, we now see you. I mean, I look at you, I look at so many women around us, all following their dreams, passions, getting to their goals, loving their journey, and all of that. But despite all this, women still face a lot of barriers, a lot of challenges along the way. So, what are some of these challenges which you think are still hindering women's progress?
So recently, I have understood that financial literacy is also one of the obstacles. We try to avoid it because we feel that either our father or our brother or our husband will take care of our family in the
Yes.
long run, kind of at retirement and at maybe different aspects of life, because we are so busy juggling and making everybody else happy. Like we want to make sure our in-laws are happy, our parents are happy, our children are happy, our husband is happy, the food is right on the table on the right time, the house is proper, house is perfect, everything we take on to ourselves.
True.
I feel it's very important to distribute responsibilities.
Yeah.
And also take care of your financial kind of be independent financially, learn a little bit about investments. It's not difficult nowadays. I mean, I avoided that for the most of my career, but
Yeah.
it was one of my missions to do for this year, to 2024 August to 2025. I wanted to make sure that I am able to understand how and where I wanted to invest my wealth, and also save, of course, because we don't even save, we like to gift people, we like to give people. I mean, generally I've seen women do that, they like to gift people, give people, make people feel happy, make people feel special, learn, educate yourself. You feel somebody else will take care of your needs in the end, kind of.
Yeah.
This is the general, kind of, but I feel it's very important to take care of that aspect, which I ignored for most of my life, but I have taken charge of that. And it is one of my missions to become financially independent as soon as possible.
Great. You're right. Yeah, and this is like, it does not matter what strata of society you belong to. Financial independence and literacy is something which every woman should be aware of. And yet, there are people, hopefully there will be people around you, but why depend on someone else? They are there, very good. That can be the cherry on the cake, but bake that cake for yourself and do things for yourself. True.
Yes.
All right. So when it comes to facing challenges and when it comes to, breaking barriers, how do you think women's voices on platforms like the one you're on currently, how can they play a critical role in helping women, overcome these challenges or these, hurdles?
So I believe it gives a lot of perception to the listeners and the viewers. One of my aunts is going through depression.
Okay.
She's in the US, and I have a podcast as well called the Come Alive podcast.
Okay.
And I get a lot of women on my podcast. And I met her last year. I met her in the US. She lives in the US, in Houston. So she didn't want to meet her because she was going through not so good times. But I went and met her, and she told me that, I love what you're doing. I hear all your podcasts.
Lovely.
And I didn't even know that she was hearing those podcasts. I didn't even know that it was making an impact to her personally. Of course, I hear my friends and all say, lovely, yeah, we love what you do and stuff like that. But, when somebody is going through something and they tell you that, I love what you're doing and I hear all your podcasts, it makes me very happy. That really gives me a sense of purpose.
True.
So whenever we are doing these things, and we might not know how we are impacting someone else.
Correct.
So a platform such as yours, I'm 100% sure is impacting a lot of people.
Yeah.
There was another time when I was on Dubai Eye. I was on the radio, and a friend's friend was facing a challenge, and he was in prison in Dubai.
Okay.
And he heard it in prison, and he called the common friend,
Hmm.
And he told her that, can you please call Meher right now and tell her that I heard her on radio and I loved what she was talking about and I love her journey and I love what she's doing right now.
Hmm. 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 So you're
So
right.
I was like, whoa, like
Uh,
how and what and how did it like touch somebody so much?
hmm. 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 Yeah.
So
You're right. Sometimes you don't even know, but
yes, so these two instances made me really feel that even if I feel I'm not getting an ROI on things, or if I feel that maybe I'm not impacting people or whatever, sometimes you
yeah.
always have this doubt that maybe the effort that you're putting in is not worth it.
Hmm.
But when such instances happen, maybe one in 10 or 1 in 20, but you
Yeah.
just feel okay, somewhere somebody is getting the benefit.
Yes, you're impacting someone's life, and that's the whole idea behind it. You are impacting.
Absolutely.
All right. So you touched upon depression and women. So mental health is becoming very big now, and people are talking about it. It's no longer a taboo or no longer something that people just want to ignore or brush under the carpet. So, do you think women who also face a lot of mental health issues because of the various stages of their lives, do you think their mental health is getting as much attention as that of men's, or you feel there's no difference between the two?
I mean, frankly speaking, I haven't researched on it, but I do believe overall mental health has been um, in the news kind of with all the new age gurus. They
Mm.
with the social media, with a lot of the right kind of content. If you grasp the right content, there's a lot of awareness, and people are not shying away. Like
Yeah.
most of my coaching clients are women. I have both men and women, but they're aware that anxiety can go with mindset shifts. A coach can help you with anxiety, a coach can help you with depression, a coach can help you with bettering your life.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I have clients from all walks of life and they're open to it. And I do have all kind of nationalities as well. Like
Okay.
there's a variety of nationalities. So everybody's accepting that your happiness is in your hand. So you better work on it.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. So, all right.
And there's no shying away from taking help or going to healers or anything like that. I feel it's spoken about now very openly. There's nothing to worry about.
Which is very, very positive because people are accepting
Yes.
it, recognizing it's there, and then also okay to seek help wherever required from wherever. So where there is a phenomena that I observe around me, which I refer to as midlife rebooting, where I see a lot of people, both men and women, switching professions, switching careers, vocations in the middle of their lives. It could start in their early 40s and go on till, 50s, 60s, whatever, where they start adding on or they start replacing what they were doing initially with something else. So a doctor taking up writing or painting or hiking, and it could be anything. And many times, what they start doing is diametrically opposite to what they'd been doing all this while. So, what are your views on this? I mean, is it good, bad? Why is it happening now? Why did it not happen earlier? And whatever else you want to talk about.
So I do believe that of course, the first 20 years of your life, you need to study, make sure you are able to stand up on your feet. That's how the society works.
Yeah.
Then the next 20 years, you are trained, rather taught that you have to work and make a name for yourself, make a living for yourself. You have to be somewhere. I
Yeah.
mean, you're taught that, you're trained, so you're under training till 20, then 20 to 40, you're supposed to be doing that, taking care of the family, taking care of yourself, building a little bit of wealth. And at 40, I feel people do feel right now, if there are some things which are missed along this journey till 40, I mean, you better do it kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when COVID hit, I just believe it's natural. So when COVID hit, I also believe that I will write a book because I had transformed and I
Uh,
was living my best version. I feel I had it in my mind that I will write a book at 50 once I'm done with like the main part of my life. And, I've also done what I need to do, be a bit independent and stuff like that, and felt fulfilled that I've done something. After that, I will write a book. But then COVID hit and I didn't know how long this would go on till.
hmm.
So I was like, let me just write the book. So
Yeah.
I wrote my first book in COVID called Come Alive, Don't Just Exist, based on my personal journey and personal story. In fact, it's available everywhere and the viewers can pick it up from Amazon in India, anywhere else in the world, it's available.
Hmm.
So I wrote it and I was like, I felt amazing. And I was like, once I wrote it, I was like, I don't want to hold this back now. So then I went ahead and I learned how to coach. I am a certified professional coactive coach. So I made sure I had the skills and the tools to be able to help people once I had written the book, and I had written the 5-phase process of self-love in this book.
Okay.
So yeah, and then at like 3-4 years ago at 40 also, I decided I must take it up seriously, because only then in a couple of years will I be able to do more work on this subject as well. Of course, I am fully committed to the family business, and I'm growing the family business, and I'm very happy being there. But eventually, I also see myself doing more work that can impact individuals. And I've written my second book also then, because I was like, wow, I had another idea about love and leadership, how love and how self-love has impacted my leadership, and how I have been able to grow my team, grow my company, grow my business, be aligned with the family. So that gave me an idea to write my second book. And I love that part about me. I'm in a state of flow when I do that. And that also helps me in my daily life, in my life as a leader. So I feel once you start evolving, and once you start, you are at that journey in your 40s, you feel like doing more with your life.
True. And yeah, you're so right. I mean, first 20 years, you just spend kind of learning and, equipping yourself with skills and tools that you need, the basic things. Then you do stuff maybe for whatever reasons, maybe it's family or societal pressure, or maybe you don't know any better. But as you grow up, and I think your early 40s, late 30s are the time when you are mature enough, objective enough to be able to take stock of where you are and then see how best you can fill in those gaps. I think earlier people couldn't do it because there wasn't so much awareness also. Now I think social media makes it so much more visible. You get ideas about people doing so many different things. So yeah, there's so much exposure, awareness, and acceptance too. All right. So Meher, of course, the second book is out. So what do you see yourself doing? Third book? I mean,
no, the second book is in publishing. Hopefully this year will be out.
So almost out.
Yes.
So looking ahead, what do you see yourself doing personally and professionally? Where do you see yourself?
So I believe in the next 10 years,
Yeah.
I'm still enjoying the journey with the family business. In the next 10 years, I want to fully move to being a coach, a speaker, and an author, and want to do more of that kind of work, which I have already established my coaching business in. So I'm looking forward to that phase of my life as well.
Great. And personally?
So that is, I think it's very personal and professional. Like, it's something, it's my personal mission, it's my purpose. I can be flexible. So I believe, so I really believe that is my purpose, to spread the message of self-love, love and leadership, to push love into mainstream, all areas of life. It's super important. Empathy, love, compassion is the way to go. We need more of that in this world, in businesses, at homes. So so really, it's my purpose to spread more of that. And you can only love others when you love yourself.
Yeah.
If you are not in love with yourself, you will never be able to pass on that kind of love to anybody.
Correct.
Around you, be it your parents, be it your children, be it your spouse.
Yeah.
So it's the lack of love that you have for yourself that creates a void and makes you live on painkillers that you want to fulfill outside of you. You want things outside of you, outside of love, to fulfill that pain that you're living with. But actually, it's just a void you are missing in your life. There's nothing missing in your life except you. Once you are fully in love with yourself, you will be in love with everything in your life.
True. Very well said.
And everything will prosper. Your health, your wealth, everything, because the relationship you have with yourself determines the quality of every other relationship in life, be it with health, wealth, abundance, anything, family, spouse, parents. So it's very important to understand that and start working on
that. Right. Very well said. Okay, Meher. So now we come to the grand finale, which is our rapid fire round. So 5 quick questions and 5 quick answers. All right.
Okay.
The first one. What is your favorite productivity hack?
Favorite productivity hack?
Yeah.
I feel I'm most productive when I meditate in the morning, frankly speaking.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. When I'm connected with myself, super productive.
Great. Great. Next one, an easy one. Favorite book or podcast?
Favorite book is Solve for Happy by Mo Gavdas.
Okay. All right. And any podcast?
I used to watch a lot of London Real.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So I used to watch it on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
and love it.
Okay. All right. So next, one word that describes your leadership style.
Love and empathy.
Okay. All right.
Everybody in life needs love and empathy, and so does your team. So
True.
if you keep giving love to them, you will see how it will impact the bottom line.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. The next one. Biggest lesson that you learned from a failure.
There is no failure. There's only learning.
Great.
Failure is a lesson in disguise. So we need to just learn it.
Yeah, yeah. And finally, you've had a long day and you're super tired, super exhausted when you reach home. How do you unwind?
Be with my children. Be with my twins. I love to see them talk. And
Okay.
they keep making fun of me now because I wake up super early. So they talk and then they're like, shall we watch something together? And they hug me and kiss me and we just cuddle, and then I'm like falling asleep and they're like, why do you want us? I was like, no, because this is what gives me the most happiness, to be with you at the end of the day and just chat with you and see your faces and see your expressions and see your happiness. And so yeah, that's what I do to unwind.
All right. Okay. So that brings us to the end of this conversation, and if I may say, an absolutely delightful and a very, how should I say, very reflective conversation, in the sense that while I was talking to you, it made me reflect, think, and which is the whole point of, like I said, this kind of a platform where you start looking at things from a different perspective, as you also pointed out. So yeah, absolute delight to have you on the show. And of course, let's keep in touch, and maybe we'll see you again too. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for your time, and thank you for having me on the show. All the best.
Thank you for tuning in to the About Her Show. If you enjoyed this episode, there's plenty more from where that came from. Our previous guests have shared some amazing stories, so be sure to catch up on past episodes. To keep up with our inspiring conversations and to never miss an update, hit subscribe, rate, review, and share the love. Follow us on social media for some great content, and don't forget to check out our website www.aboutherbysangeeta.com for stories that resonate, inspire, and empower. Know a remarkable woman or an inspiring man blazing a trail? We'd love to hear from you. Drop us a note at web.abouther@gmail.com and let's bring their story to life on the About Her Show.